You are watching The Horizon, the voice of the Amber Woman, exclusively on ABC Amber TV. You are watching The Horizon, the voice of the Amber Woman, exclusively on ABC Amber TV.
Payment method: www.abcambertv.com/donate. ABC Amber TV payment channels: Cash App 202-650-2216, Zelle 240-486-8768, Ambazonia Broadcasting Corporation. PayPal payments at abcambertv.com. Contact us today. info@abcambertv.com. Facebook ABC Ambazonia. You can call us on 124-048-68768. www.abcambertv.com.
Mutumbu, mama yo, na ya boy go get her. Blue Jay Brothers. Mama, you're kind. Mama, you're beautiful. Mama, you're good. Mama, you're wonderful. No woman like you, Mama. No woman like you, Mama. Thank God for you, Mama. Thank God for you, Mama. 'Cause you gave me life. Oh, Mama. Queen of my life. Oh, Mama. I go love you for life. Mama, 'cause you love me so. Oh, Mama. From small begin, I never forget all the suffer when you suffer for me. Oh yeah, yeah. All the pain and the troubles where I put you through. I remember when money no be there and chop no be there for her. You really try your best. You go run around to find us something where we go chop. When I dey sick, you know the sleep. You go dey cry all night. You go hold me tight, start to pray, say God make you help my oh Lord. Ooh, I wo ye ye choma. Afunga na bere ye funga choma. Ambama na bere ye ambama choma. Enga na chinum ye ga choma. Mama, I wo ye ye choma. Afunga na bere ye funga choma. Ambama na bere ye ambama choma. Enga na chinum ye ga choma. Ye ga choma, mama. Enga na chinum ye ga choma. Chinum ye ga choma. You gave me life, Mama, Queen of my life, Mama. I will love you for life, Mama, 'cause you love me so, Mama. Ale mama, selelelele. Ale mama, shekelelelele. Ale mama, you're my motivation. You gave me the best education, Mama. The song where I sing, I'm for you. Now it's special dedication to you. Oh yeah, I know say every night and day you pray say make a Mama. The God where you the pray, I'm for heaven. Don't give me this inspiration, Mama. The song where I sing, I'm for you. Now to show my appreciation to you. I wo ye ye choma. Afunga na bere ye funga choma. Ambama na bere ye ambama choma. Enga na chinum ye ga choma. Mama, I wo ye ye choma. Afunga na bere ye funga choma. Ambama na bere ye ambama choma. Enga na chinum ye ga choma. Chinum ye ga choma. Chinum ye ga choma. Ye ga choma. You gave me life, Mama, Queen of my life, Mama, I will love you for life, I will love you for life. Ale mama, selelelele. Ale mama, selelelele. Ale mama, selelelele. Ale mama. Oh, that's so. That's so. Mother's Day. That's so.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you, everyone, for tuning on today to watch and listening to The Horizon, the voice of the Amber Woman. This is my Patience Abiedu, and I welcome you all today. We are the voice of the Amber Woman. The Horizon is here because you are there. And we want to send special greetings to those watching us from the home front, from ground one, from all over the diaspora. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We also want to give special greetings to our Ambazonia Restoration Forces defending home front, because without you, we will not be where we are today. You've given us the utmost sacrifice as we journey to Buea. We thank you. Today on the Horizon is a special program. It's a special program because we have our talented, very able guest, Barrister John Fruso, who is going to enlighten you all on two important topics. So we'll be talking today about the referendum, why we don't think it is a solution for the La Republic Southern Cameroon's conflict. We will also talk about AGOA, the African Growth Opportunity Act that La Republic is trying to get back into. Because remember that a few years ago, in 2019 to be exact, the former President Trump kicked Cameroon out of AGOA. So without further ado, I know our guest has only 1 hour to give us. Without further ado, I want to welcome Barrister. So please, Barrister, go ahead and greet the people. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my Patience, for inviting me on Horizon for the first time. This is my first time appearing on Horizon. I take this opportunity to greet all Ambazonians, both home and abroad, the restoration forces that are making us proud, that are defending the homeland and sacrificing for all of us. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, Barrister. Let's start with the topic that is a little bit not as powerful like the referendum. Let's start with AGOA. And briefly, because we want people to join and listen to the more important topic that has to do with the referendum. So let's start with the African Growth Opportunity Act. And briefly, I just want to read something briefly, and then I will have you talk about it. So the African Growth Opportunity Act, briefly, is since its enactment in 2000, the African Growth Opportunity Act, AGOA, has been at the core of U.S. economic policy and commercial engagement with Africa. AGOA provides eligible sub-Saharan African countries with duty-free access to the U.S. market for over 1,800 products, in addition to the more than 5,000 products that are eligible for duty-free access under the Generalized System of Preference Program. To meet AGOA rigorous eligibility requirements, countries must establish or make continual progress toward establishing a market-based economy, the rule of law, political pluralism, and the right to due process. Additionally, countries must eliminate barriers to US trade and investment, enact policies to reduce poverty, combat corruption, and protect human rights. By providing new market opportunities, AGOA has helped bolster economic growth, promoted economic and political reform, and improved US economic relations in the region. 36 countries are eligible for AGOA benefits in 2022. In 2015, Congress passed legislation modernizing and extending the program to 2025. So, Barrister, tell us why Cameroon was kicked out of AGOA.
Thank you, my patience. Since AGOA was established, that is Africa Growth and Opportunity Act was established in the 2000s, the goal was to improve the economic situation of sub-Saharan Africa. And the opportunities were given to Africans to export goods to the United States market without any duties. There were conditions that every country must meet. You just read them. In 2019, when we were in the middle of this genocidal war, the United States government, by then President Trump, withdrew AGOA from La République du Cameroon, because when AGOA was given to La République du Cameroon, La République du Cameroon took an engagement to respect human rights, stop targeted killings, stop arbitrary arrest without trial, locking people up without trial, stop violating human rights. And they withdrew the AGOA from La République du Cameroon until they meet those conditions. One of the conditions that comes to mind actually is that La République du Cameroon should solve the war between La République du Cameroon and the Southern Cameroons. Well, you know that La République du Cameroon recently withdrew from the Swiss talks. La République du Cameroon is making no effort to end the war. They have not fulfilled one condition, one single condition that was laid down when they were given AGOA. They have their Minister of the Economy, Al-Amin Osman May, who has been parading here in Washington, presenting a voodoo economic statistics. I don't know who he's deceiving. And all through, he has been talking all about the economic statistics. He has not mentioned even one of the conditions that made the Trump administration to withdraw AGOA. So we will be working to make sure that La République du Cameroon does not get back into AGOA until they meet the conditions laid down by the United States government. That is why you see the economy of La République du Cameroon is going down the drain. They are unable to pay their bills. Even though for some funny reason, the IMF is still borrowing their money. Yes. I don't know whether that money is even enough to even pay salaries. That's why you see Osman May in the corridors in Washington trying to get back into AGOA. It will not happen, because not one of the conditions laid down when they sign in for AGOA has been met.
Yes, Barrister. I really wonder what emboldened them to think that they have a chance. I wonder why they even thought they had a chance to pursue this when, as you rightfully said, they've not met the conditions to at least sit on the table and without any preconditions and solve the problem that is causing such a huge humanitarian toll on the people of the former British Southern Cameroons. Incidentally, you mentioned about IMF and World Bank, and we also remember how they stole the COVID funds that was given to them. That is also embezzled. And Barrister, briefly, they claim that they are already on the path of their financial situation is improving, so much so that if they were admitted into EGWA, they would do much better. Is that really the case?
That's where they miss the point. That's where they miss the point. The conditions for AGOA did not include economic improvement or the downing of the economy. It is specific to human rights, extrajudicial killings, not willing to negotiate to get out of the war. Because, the war started in 2017, as Bia declared it. Mm-hmm. And the U.S. government waited all of 2018 and got into 2019 before they withdrew AGOA. They withdrew AGOA alongside with withdrawal of the military aid to Cameroon. There is no such thing like economic improvement. That is part of AGOA. That is not the condition under which AGOA was given. What I'm saying is that La République de Cameroon has not met the condition that made the United States government to withdraw AGOA from Cameroon. Not
Absolutely.
Even one has been met. Not one. They are still doing extrajudicial killings. They are still violating human rights. The war is still on. They are killing and burning our villages on a daily basis. They are killing our people. We have lost more than 60,000 people, and they are burning our villages. Our people are in exile in Nigeria and other neighboring countries. This La République has not even begun to solve even one of the conditions that made the United States government to withdraw AGOA from them. So Osman can make all the economic voodoo, because all what is presenting doesn't look like Cameroon. Because Cameroon, everybody knows that the Cameroonian economy is sinking. For him to come and present some kind of a rosy economic environment, talking about 4.3 growth, I don't know where that is coming from. The World Bank and other stakeholders were listening to him. But the United States will not listen to any economic growth when none of the conditions that was laid down before they were withdrawn, before AGOA was withdrawn. La République de Cameroon has not even begun to even think about one of those conditions. So why do they think that the United States, I want to make this clear. In the United States government, foreign policy remains a new government cannot change foreign policy, at least in its basics. Look, President Biden took over and even added the TPS, temporary protective status. For all they use the word Cameroonians, which includes Francophones, but the target was that there is a war in Cameroon, and therefore the people who enter the United States cannot be deported. They will be given 18 months renewable as long as the war is on. Now, that is an addition to the AGOA withdrawal.
Absolutely.
What have they done to begin to solve the problem? They are coming to Washington, paying money to lobbyists. Osman Mayer is almost sleeping in the State Department and all the other places. Looking for what? They have not met the conditions that made the United States government to withdraw AGOA. So they will not be withdrawn until they meet those conditions.
Yeah, Barrister, I saw a list that has AGOA eligible and ineligible countries for 2023. And it
Yes,
has about 35 countries that are eligible for 2023. And then countries not eligible, of course, Cameroon is one of the countries not eligible.
correct,
So,
correct.
that is until we see them on a list that they are eligible, they are wasting their time.
They are wasting their time and they're spending money on lobby. That is not our business. They can waste all the money they have to waste. But they should know that since 2017, we no longer share economic value with La Republic of Cameroon. So any loans, anything that they are taking, engages only them. They have taken, they have over the years destroyed our economic infrastructure. We have no economic infrastructure. Now, their economy is sinking. They can hardly pay salaries. They are now borrowing from the World Bank and the IMF to pay salaries. And yet they talk of an economic growth. Where is that coming from? That's voodoo
Exactly.
economics. That is voodoo
Really voodoo
economics. That is their
economics.
business. That's their business. As far as we are concerned, the AGOA would not be drawn until those conditions are met.
Absolutely.
Maybe they
All
think that
right,
they are the only ones who have. Maybe they think that they are the only ones who have lobbies. We have lobbies too. So they should think twice. Osman May can spend all his time in the Washington, going up and down. It will not work. Let him go back and tell his government to come to the negotiating table. That is one way of solving it. Come to the negotiating table without preconditions, and we'll negotiate the end of the war. If they don't want to come, we will continue to fight and get them out of our territory. We will get them out of our territory. And let me say this, Mappy.
Yes.
What is happening in La Republic of Cameroon is capable of bringing down that country. There may be civil war in that country. And we cannot allow them to sink with us. We will not allow them to sink with us because we are not part of them.
You said it right. We are not part of them. Let's move to the next topic, which is the most important topic for today, the issue of referendum in Southern Cameroons. So before we delve into it, let me just mention a brief timeline without really getting into details, and then I will ask you a few questions. So we know that the Scramble of Africa started in 1884, where all the big nations were trying to get a piece of Africa. And then, without going that far back, after World War I, when Germany lost, we became a League of Nations mandated territory. And then after World War II, we became a United Nations Trust territory, administered by the British, and the French. La République de Cameroon was administered by France. Barrister, before we get into this history that you're going to tell us, we want to talk about this issue about referendum and plebiscite, because most of us were exposed to the word plebiscite following the condition that was giving us to get our own independence. And I looked for the definition of plebiscite in a very old dictionary that is, I consider it a great dictionary, and I took a screenshot of it. Let me just read what it says, and then I'll also read the definition of referendum. Then I'll give you the opportunity to really explain to our people, so that everyone listening, at whatever level of education they have, to understand really the difference between those two words. So a plebiscite, it says in this, it's called the Thomont Webster Illustrated Encyclopedic Dictionary. It's a huge dictionary that I've had for ages, and it really gives a lot of the real meaning of words. Plebiscite a direct vote in which the entire electorate of a country, region, or other political unit is invited to accept or refuse the measure, program, or government of the person or party initiating the consultation. Such a vote whereby a population exercises the right of national self-determination. Then, a referendum. The submission of a proposed public measure or actual statute to direct popular vote. B. Such a vote. The submission of any matter concerning a group to the direct vote of its member. Barrister, I'm going to have you come back, really explain to us. Tell us exactly what the meaning of plebiscite is, and then also what the meaning of referendum is, so that everybody listening should know, understand the meaning, and also what the difference is between those two words.
The word plebiscite was first used as it concerns the independence of the Southern Cameroon, and it was implemented on the 11th of February. Plebiscite is not binding in law. It's a consultation to find people what the opinion of a particular people, either the opinion of a country or the opinion of a people, self-determined people, as to what they will want the United Nations or any other structure, particularly the United Nations, will do to bring self-governing or independence to them. Before the plebiscite was organized in the Southern Cameroon was already self-governing, even though still under the trust territory. It was still a trust territory under the British. We had government apparatus, but short of defense and foreign policy. Now, that is the plebiscite. The long and short of it is that it is not legally binding. You can repudiate the results at any time. But a referendum has its situs in the constitution of every country in the world. Every constitution in every country in the world has a provision for referendum that would allow that country to ask a part of the country that wants to secede, or an important issue, or the change of the nomenclature of that make up that country. That is a referendum. It is legally binding, and it is also found in the electoral code of every country. You have the general elections and you have the referenda, because you can organize as many as you need. So a referendum is legally binding and is organized by a sovereign country to solve a particular problem, either to allow a particular tribe or people to go away from that country, or to change important provisions in the constitution of that country, or to change the mood of governing of that country. It is provided for in the constitution of that country, and it is inserted in the electoral code for a vote, which is national, is meant only for the nationals of that country. Now, let me come to the relation between us and La République du Cameroon. Let's take for the sake of argument, because when Resolution 1608 was voted on the 21st of April 1961, the United Nations General Assembly accorded our independence and also asked that we join La République du Cameroon as we decided on 11th of February. But they gave conditions for the joining, that there must be a conference or a meeting of not only La République du Cameroon, the Southern Cameroons, the British, that is the administering authority then, and the UN, United Nations. This must meet to determine in a treaty the policy that will be applied when we joined La République du Cameroon. This conference never took place. Let nobody tell you about Fumban, because nothing actually happened in Fumban. La République du Cameroon invaded the Southern Cameroons on the night of the 30th of September, breaking 1st October. They came in with their troops, and since the British had connived with them, the British handed the Union Jack that was supposed to be handed to our Prime Minister John Buponcha. They handed it to Ahidjo. It's like it was a well-planned act to invade our territory. They came with gendarmes, they came with the military in Boya and took over every place and started administering us as a captured people. I would argue that there was no joining, but let's take for the sake of argument that there was a joining. That joining was imposed on us by La République du Cameroon by implying a retroactively voted and made into law of a constitution of La République du Cameroon on the 1st of September. We were not with them on the 1st of September. So they imposed that constitution on us, and as God will give it, they inserted a certain Article 47, which says that the form of the federation shall not be changed by vote or by referenda. What happened? Ahidjo organized his own kind of referendum, which included us, and took a vote and canceled the federal structure, which he imposed. So since then, we have been left out of La République du Cameroon, because they were supposed to consult us. They didn't. Even the constitution that they imposed on us was supposed to be given to our parliament for ratification. They didn't. Nothing happened. So we are not, I am arguing that we are not and we have never been part of La République du Cameroon. That means we cannot accept a referendum that emanates from the constitutional provisions of La République du Cameroon. Because we are not and we have never been. 1972, 1984, and even up to now, we have never been part of La République du Cameroon. That is why we declared a restoration of our independence, which was already voted for. We are an independent country. What they took away from us is our sovereignty. What they stole from us is our sovereignty. But our independence that was voted by the United Nations General Assembly in Resolution 1608 still stands. Therefore, if the United Nations wants to consult us on a particular issue of our sovereignty that was stolen, the only thing they can do is to organize a plebiscite, which will be voted only by the citizens of the Southern Cameroons. We will not accept even a plebiscite with with the electoral register coming from La République du Cameroon. La République du Cameroon will have nothing to do with that consultation. It must start from registration of voters right up to proclamation of results. If that's what they want, this interim government is willing to accept a plebiscite in the southern Cameroons, but we will not accept a referendum in any shape or form in the southern Cameroons. That is our argument. And the interim government is not willing and will not accept any kind of referendum concerning this issue between us and La République du Cameroon. Because we are not part of the La République du Cameroon. And if they want to stay with their law, they have given us independence and taken our sovereignty. Therefore, we're a quasi country. Therefore, they cannot even come and organize a referendum. We want a plebiscite. For if the United Nations wants to consult our people, they should organize a second plebiscite. That we will accept.
Yeah, Barrister, as you're talking, this just came to my mind. I wonder if the people of South Africa were given the choice of a referendum, whether they should stay with, the blacks, to stay with the people that are molesting them and having them as second-class citizens during the time of apartheid. I wonder if that could be a solution then, if they could have said, let's do a referendum. Or even in the United States of America, if they are told the predominantly white ruling nations that let's vote whether we should continue with slavery or not. I wonder what would have happened then. So this question of referendum, as you rightfully say, is out of the question because we were equals to La République du Cameroon. On that day, when they had their own independence on the 1st of January 1960, they were already a state. We had our own independence, as you said it, on the 1st of October 1961. Yes, and when we agreed to join them, as you said it, we were joining them as equal partners. We are supposed to be a federation, each state with equal strength. So for the United, go ahead, Barrister.
Mape, stop there. Don't
Yes.
don't talk too much. We did not accept to join them.
Okay.
Nothing was signed in Pumbat. Nothing was put down and signed in Pumbat. They invaded our territory with the connivance of France and Great Britain. And we have been suffering since. Let me take the case of South Africa. South African blacks were part of South Africa. They were citizens of South Africa, and therefore, to end the conflict there, they might have organized a referendum because they are people of the same country.
Right.
But we are not part of La République du Cameroon. Let's get it clear here. We are not part of La République du Cameroon. And anything that the United Nations wants to organize now to consult us, they must do it through a plebiscite. We will not accept a referendum because it will mean that La République du Cameroon will be involved. So in either directly or indirectly. We don't want anything to do with La République du Cameroon when it comes to the United Nations consulting our people. We are saying that we will accept a second plebiscite to ask us the question that they are seeking. Because we have restored our independence and we are asking for countries to recognize us and give us back our sovereignty. That's where we are. We are not asking for independence. No, that independence was already voted by the United Nations General Assembly. No two countries have independence twice. So, as far as this interim government is concerned, we will not accept a referendum, but we will accept a plebiscite. from
Okay,
organized by the United Nations, from registration of the citizens of the Southern Cameroon. Let me make myself clear. The citizens of the Southern Cameroon means everybody that comes from the villages of the Southern Cameroon, born in the villages of the Southern Cameroon. They will register our people according to villages, and of course also in the diaspora. And we will go to vote, and they will proclaim the results. United Nations alone, without any participation from our occupiers, La République du Cameroun. We cannot take the risk of accepting a referendum, because when you accept a referendum, meaning that you were part of that country, therefore they will use the electoral register of that country to administer that vote. And we cannot accept any register of voters coming from La République du Cameroun. Because La République du Cameroon, since independence, has never had a free and fair election. Every electoral register has been doctored. And that is their business, though, because we are not part of their country. Therefore, if the United Nations is minded to consult the people of the Southern Cameroon, they should organize a plebiscite.
Thank you so much, Barrister. And you've already made it clear to our people to understand that we never joined La République du Cameroun on that October 1st, 1961. That on the 30th of September 1961, they invaded our land. So let's get that clear. We always use the word "we joined" just for conversation purpose, but that is not the case. You clarified it.
Factually, the political leaders then just accepted. I don't know what they accepted. You have not signed anything. A constitution is imposed on you. Your parliament is not even consulted. Nothing. You are accepted, and you went along with them. Some of them were made vice president, prime ministers, and so on. Ahidjo virtually treated us like a conquered people. There was no document indicating that, pursuant to paragraph 5 of the resolution 1608, there was no such document. These units, these people that I just cited, the Republic of Cameroon, Southern Cameroon, the British, and the UN, were supposed to meet and determine the policies that will apply in the union between La République du Cameroun and Southern Cameroon. They never met till today. And the British have recognized the fact that they abandoned Southern Cameroon. You just need to listen to the debates in the House of Lords in London. Lord Butte placed it on the debate, and if you read all those debates, there is one thing that is coming out. The British abandoned the Southern Cameroons, and therefore the decolonization was incomplete. Because
Barrister.
Yes.
They did not
attend this conference. They did not attend this conference. There was no conference. Ahidjo just organized a camp together in Fumban. I don't know what it was all about. And before you knew it, their own constitution that was voted on the 1st of September was retroactively applied to our people. Like a conquered people. You know? I don't know. That is one of the reasons why La République is afraid to come to the table, because they know they are going to lose. And I challenge them to come to the table if they think that we are part of them.
So the plebiscite question really will be to ask Southern Cameroonians if they want to have their independence again.
No.
So what will the plebiscite question?
If we want to recover our sovereignty that was stolen, if they want to recover, because independence is already there, Mape.
Yes.
Read Resolution 1608. The United Nations voted. We had the results are there. 63 for us, 10 abstentions, and 23 against.
Right.
That was a vote taken in the United Nations General Assembly at the time. The only thing that they tempered with was our sovereignty by asking us to join La Republic, and they gave a reason how that joining would take place. Till today that I'm talking to you, that reason has never been fulfilled. La Republique de Cameroon has violated the resolution 1608. The British violated resolution 1608. The United Nations violated resolution 1608. So there was no such treaty. There was no treaty of union between La Republique de Cameroon and the Southern Cameroons. So I would argue very strongly that there was no joining. There is no document that showed that we joined them, except that they imposed a constitution on us.
And Barrister, so now the main problem is that these leaders of the international world, the British, the French, United States, they all know this truth, because they could have easily said that these people's rights were taken away from them from that October 1st, 1961. They could have just solved this problem by correcting the wrong of almost 63 years ago. And what is preventing them from doing that? Because that would have been the fair and the just way to solve this problem.
The United Nations, I think, was waiting on UK, on the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom, since they have done what they did, they just abandoned and never look back. I don't know whether they were angry that we voted to join La Republique de Cameroon instead of Nigeria. Or I don't know. I cannot explain it. They just abandoned the Southern Cameroons. The UN abandoned the issue. And if you go to the United Nations Secretariat right now, as I'm speaking, they will put there that the Southern Cameroon was decolonized. But in reality, the decolonization process did not end. It was supposed to end with that conference, where we would have laid down the conditions, the policies that will be applied between the two countries if they get into a federation.
So this topic of referendum, thank you, Barrister. Let me just put another scenario here. Let's assume that we were giving the right to for the international community to accept our independence. Let's say that the international community say, yes, you are an independent nation, you are Southern Cameroons. And then this issue of referendum comes. So there could be a potential where you say, okay, these are Southern Cameroonians, but there are some people there who prefer to join their brothers. So you can ask all Southern Cameroonians in a referendum that, do you want to join French Cameroon, or do you want to stay with Southern Cameroons? Is that a potential way of... I just want you to explain this so that people understand very well.
Listen to me. There are people who want to stay with La Republique de Cameroon. Therefore, who are Southern Camerooners. Therefore, they should prepare to vote during the plebiscite. We will not accept a referendum because we are not part of La Republique de Cameroon. If we accept a referendum, it goes without saying that we were part and parcel of La Republique de Cameroon. That
I understand.
That yes. On us ended on the 20th of May, 1972, when they conducted their fake referendum. That referendum came directly from their constitution. And to change destroy the federation that they themselves imposed, and totally assimilated us in what you call United Republic, from United Republic to back to their own name that they had at independence, La République du Cameroun, or the Republic of Cameroon in English. So there was no joining. The decolonization process did not end. And we are not interested for it to end now, because La Republic has unleashed a war on us, and we want them to come to the table. Let's negotiate the terms of separation,
Separation.
because there's a lot that they have stolen from us. There's a lot of destruction during the war. There's a lot that we need to sit down and negotiate. But if they are not minded to come to the table, it is not our business for now. We will seek for the world powers, for countries in the world to recognize our independence and sovereignty, as they voted for that independence on the 21st of April 1961. When they recognize that, then we will get back our sovereignty, and the United Nations will ensure that the boundaries that were decided in Egypt by the OAU, the OAU said all boundaries on all the African countries will be boundaries as of independence. And our boundary was as of independence, and also as of 1916, Mape, when the partition between the British and the French took place. So that boundary is still there. That is our boundary as of independence. And that's the one that will be used, that we are using, and that La Republic has violated and entered our territory and attacked us.
No, Barrister, I think you misunderstood. Yeah, you misunderstood what I was getting to. What I was trying to say is that let's assume that Southern Cameroon is recognized as a nation, and we are we are in existence, say maybe 1, 2 years, 3 years, and then there's still grievances within us, Southern Cameroonians. Some people think that, oh, we should have been with La Republique. Then at that time, a referendum, we can organize our own referendum and say that we are Southern Cameroonians. But do you want to vote to go back and be with the enemy, or do you want to stay as an independent? I'm basically trying to make the point that you're making, that a referendum has to be treated as organized by the people that it affects, not others organizing and participating in a referendum. And by the way, Barrister, what are the disadvantages of a referendum? Because I read that throughout history, although there are so many referendums, most of them do not pass. You know, you have referenda that are done to solve problems, but majority of them do not pass. What are the disadvantages of referenda?
The disadvantage of referendum is that they use the electoral register of the country that is organizing the referendum is being organized. If we accept it, it means that we are part of La Republique. La Republique electoral processes will be used by the United Nations. They don't have to start registering you from afresh for a referendum. But in a consultation of plebiscite, they must register, conduct the vote, and proclaim results. A referendum is organized either by the country that has it in its constitution, or if there is a war situation in that country, the United Nations, in an attempt to solve that problem, can ask that country to allow them to organize a referendum in that country. It's organized in a sovereign country to give some people a self-determination if that's what they are looking for, or something, or to change the form of state of that particular country. It must be a referendum, consultation of the citizens of that country. But with us, we are saying that we had our independence voted for, and the thing that we don't have was when they stole our sovereignty on the 1st of October That is what we don't have. Therefore, we are calling on countries around the world to recognize us so that we recover our stolen sovereignty. And if within our country, some people are still agitating, look, there is an international law, MAPE, which says that nobody is forced to belong to a particular country in the world. You can choose your country.
Yeah.
If those who wanted to stay with La République du Cameroon, they were free to stay there. They don't have to come to our country. They are free even now to just move to La République du Cameroon and ask for citizenship there, or stay there with their own citizenship, whatever they want to do. But as far as we are concerned, when we have our freedom, that is our sovereignty, which comes to reinforce our independence, we will not organize a referendum on this issue because it has to do with citizenship. There is a law. A law will be passed through Parliament to vote for who is a citizen. And if you don't want to be a citizen, international law requires that nobody forces you to become a citizen of a particular country. Okay?
Okay. All right, Barrister. Thank you for explaining that so well. So I know your time is short, so I want you to use this next few minutes to really give special messages out to a particular group of people. What message do you want to really give to the Southern Cameroonian elites, especially those who are living in La République du Cameroon at this time?
I am calling on Southern Cameroonian elites living in La République du Cameroon to know that we are fighting for all of us. We understand that they are working to make a living in La République du Cameroon. We cannot take you to come and suffer when we are at war. But just know that when the war is over and our country will recover our country, every elite, everybody, every citizen of the Southern Cameroon will be admitted into citizenship of their country, the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. Now, because the name is Southern Cameroon, aka Federal Republic of Ambazonia, you will be admitted without any precondition because you are a bona fide Southern Cameroon Ambazonian. So rest assured that we are working for all of you. There will be no precondition. Let me make it clear. There will be no precondition for you coming back to the land of your birth. You are elites in La République du Cameroon. We understand that you cannot, with the political constraints and you are bringing up a family with the economic problems that you have. We understand that we cannot force you at this time to commit suicide by coming into a war zone without a job, with nothing. Stay where you are, do what you have to do, respect their laws, but be sure that once we recover our country, you will come back without any precondition.
Thank you so much. And then what about a message to your fellow barristers?
Oh, well, Mape, let me inform you that all the barristers of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, majority of them are for the total independence of our country. The only thing that you see them struggling is economic. They have to work. They have to go to court in order to feed their families. But other than that, you know that lawyers and teachers started this fight.
Absolutely.
So they are part and parcel of us. I am telling them that they should hold tight. Prepare the legal minds of all. Every legal mind should be prepared to defend the Southern Cameroon Ambazonia when the time comes. I would not be surprised if the interim government will call on some our lawyers from the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, from Victoria to Nkambe, to come over and join the negotiating team. So they are still part and parcel of us. I am part of it. I was a common law lawyer. So my colleagues, but in their large majority, are for the total independence of our country. So they should stay the course. They started the fight. Let's end the fight together.
Absolutely. And your special message to mothers who have lost their sons and husbands and other loved ones due to the war.
Oh Lord, I sent my special condolences to all the mothers and fathers, to all the parents, grandparents, and brothers and sisters who lost their loved ones in this senseless conflict. But rest assured that the little that we are sending home will be taking care of the wounded soldiers, the orphans, and the widows for now. But rest assured that when the country would have been established, something will be done to make sure that help is brought to bear on those who have lost loved ones in this senseless war, especially taking care of the orphans, taking care of the widows. The social services that will be established will have particular interest, will take particular interest on those who have lost their loved ones in this senseless war. I speak with the protection of the interim government and with the understanding of the interim government that you will not be forgotten. And those who have died, we will build a monument in Buea, our capital,
Absolutely.
to commemorate your sacrifice to the nation. That is all the promise I can give them. And I say that please accept the condolences of the interim government, and in which I attach my own personal condolence to those who have lost their loved ones. Thank you very much.
And Barrister, what is your special message to university students, to our university students?
Oh, that is a very good one. Mape, you know that when La République du Cameroon invaded us, our children had to go to their lone university. They had to go to the university that they created to suit their whims and caprices. These children went to those universities, graduated, and they are still not working. I know friends who graduated from the Yaoundé University 15, 20 years ago, and they still cannot find jobs. Majority of our commanders are students, are graduates of these universities from these occupiers, and also graduates of other universities around the world who have found themselves home, who went back home and cannot find jobs. I want to assure you that the reconstruction of the Southern Cameroon will be done by you and all of us. So hold tight. Make sure that you stay away from stray bullets, so that independence would come with you alive, so that we join hands together and rebuild our country. I am very sorry that our forefathers, I'm not blaming them, but they did the best they could, put us in this situation, and up to now, you have a university education, but with nothing to show for it. But at least some of you are using it now to defend our territory.
Absolutely.
To command your junior brothers and sisters to defend our country. We will build our country together. You can be rest assured of that. Thank you very much.
And finally, Barrister, what is your message to La République citizens?
La République citizens, you see, this whole thing is in the hands of the governing class of La République du Cameroon.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot senselessly antagonize citizens of La République du Cameroon. So all our advice is that if you have been furnishing information to La République du Cameroon and you are living on the territory of the Southern Cameroon and Bazonia, I will advise you to go back to your country. But if you are a law-abiding person and living in the Southern Cameroon and you are a citizen of La République du Cameroon, you can be assured that your safety is guaranteed, just like the safety of any foreigner is guaranteed on our territory. Please, our fight is not against the people of the of La République du Cameroon. It's against the government class from 1961 till today. What they have done to us, what they continue to do to us, the war that they have unleashed on us, we cannot at the same time punish citizens of La République du Cameroon because of what their government has done to us. They have burned down more than 500 of our villages, but you have not seen one village of La République du Cameroon burned down, because we believe that the citizens have nothing to do, or if they have, then they are our enemies. Just like the enemies of this war are also from the Southern Cameroon, you'll be treated the same.
Right.
So please be rest assured that the war is not against the population of La République du Cameroon.
Thank you so much, Barrister. I know your time is brief with us today, but I would like for you to just give your closing remarks. I mean, I would have loved to have you for another 30 minutes, but I will take what I can get.
Yes.
Give your closing remarks and remind the people exactly why we should continue fighting for our recognition as the 55th nation in Africa, and that we should not relent, and that messages that are coming from people like Thibault Nash and all the others that are pushing for referendum, they are probably because they know that it will be rigged and La République will have its way, because there's no possibility that a referendum will go the way that we Southern Cameroonians want. We've had all the surveys from Cardinal Toomey, from even CDN, that have shown that all Southern Cameroonians prefer to have their autonomy. They want to have their nation, that they will administer their own rights, everything that a nation should have. Yet they are pushing this to us for referendum to solve this problem. So please, your closing remarks. And I want to say I really appreciate you coming to the Horizon today, and I'm sure you'll visit with us again in the near future. Go ahead, Barrister.
Thank you, Mape. I will not cast aspersions on any particular diplomat, but I want to tell the world that the Southern Cameroons and Bazonia will not accept any form of referendum at this time. We will accept a plebiscite if the United Nations wants to consult our people on an issue, particularly those who want our sovereignty restored and those who don't want our sovereignty to be restored. Mm-hmm. That is a fair question for the United Nations to ask. But the United Nations should know that the results of a plebiscite can be contested or can be set aside by those who are affected. That is the one that we are going to accept. We will not accept any referendum because we are not part and parcel of a particular country called La République du Cameroon. Number two, I'd like to thank our people for the sacrifices that every one of us is making. Those of us in the diaspora, when you are eating a dollar, you eat maybe 70, 80 cents and keep 30 cents to give for the struggle. Those of
Absolutely.
you in the home front, you are the population that has been suffering what is happening on our people. The genocide that is being committed on you, you have lost loved ones as a result of the genocide. And then, of course, a part of you are the young people who are giving their life to defend the territorial integrity of the Southern Cameroons and Ambazonia. We thank you very much for those sacrifices and that all of us are in together. And here in the diaspora, we talk of the draft. The draft is compulsory. It's a compulsory exercise for those who are not in the war front. And we are not the first people to organize a draft to fight a war that has been that has been brought to us not by our own making. If there are young people giving their lives, their sacrifices on the warm front, we in the diaspora have a duty and an obligation to draft so that we send that money back so that they can use it to treat the wounded, they can use it to feed the refugees, they can use it to defend our territorial integrity. So I thank all Ambazonians that are in for this fight. And if you are a black leg, I will advise that you go to La République du Cameroon and stay there. And you can give all the information that you will give there because you think you are not protected. You are protected. But let me assure you, if you are a Southern Cameroonian, if you are a black leg Southern Cameroonian, know that you cannot recover your citizenship that easily. Thank you very much, Mape, for inviting me. It's the first time I've come on Horizon, like I said before. I would like to come again. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Barrister. I am, of course, you can count on it that we will have you here again on the Horizon. I'm sure you want to leave, but I have some few things to continue to talk when you leave because we still have about 15 minutes to go. So you can take your leave, and I really appreciate you being here. I'm going to use this next few minutes to talk about something that was not on the flyer, just briefly, because I believe the next week when the Horizon airs, this topic may come up again. But you people may have already been seeing a flyer out there advertising AAC1, All Ambazonia Conference 1. You may have been seeing something in the in social media. I just want to tell our viewers, our listeners that beware of certain conferences. Beware of certain conferences that have an agenda to set us behind. Let's think about this systematically. We've had quite a few conferences since the evolution of our struggle in the recent history, starting from 2016, after the teachers and lawyers went on a strike. We've had conferences that are meant to tear down the structures that we already have. We've had conferences that are meant to build the structure that will lead us to us fully being recognized as a restored nation. We know of 2018 when we had the All Ambazonia, I don't remember the acronym, but it was a conference that was held in Washington, D.C. And during that conference, we had our President Komi Samuel Saku present. We had Comrade Bo Herbert present. We had, I believe, Akwanga was there, or Ayaba was there, and all the like. And they held hands, walking side by side, and laid, one of our late fathers was there also. During that conference, we felt that things were going on the right direction, but soon after, things fell through. But this interim government stood tall because the first ASSC conference was announced and took place in Berlin, Germany. Before that conference in Berlin, there was the APNC conference. APNC, whose agenda was really to destabilize the interim government. That was the agenda of APNC. And this AAC1 conference, All Ambazonia Conference 1 coming, also has the agenda to destabilize what we have right now. But it will not work because if you do not attend it, if you do not buy what they intend to share with you, then they will not succeed. We just had ASSC2 last year, early last year in Washington, D.C. And that shows how our interim government is growing. I believe, and it's me speaking just from putting A, B, and C. By the way, you may not know that the conveners of this conference that is coming up in Berlin are CDN, Coalition for Dialogue and Negotiation, AGOVC, APLM, I forgot, let me look at it quickly. I pulled it up, but here we go. The conveners are mostly people that do not support our interim government. Those are the people that have so far been fighting to destabilize this government, creating what you call unity warriors and all the like. And they include, as I already mentioned, APLM, AGOVC, it says Federal Republic of Ambazonia, which is IGK, SCNC, ACT, Ambazonia Coalition Team, Consortium, headed by Akoro Mba. Those are the people that are convening this All Ambazonia conference. Sometimes this month, I think it's at the end of this month. And the groups that have been invited or that have shown interest or that have joined the organizing committee are Bafut 7 Qatar, Ambazonia International Policy Commission AIPC, Diaspora Ambazonia Community, I don't know who that is, Global Takambang, which is headed by Ya Magikilo, the Marine Forces of Babalang, Southern Cameroon's activist CAF. You guys saw a flyer with them, including people that are not interested. SKEW, which is Southern Cameroon's European Women, SCOPE, SCOWL, and SCYC, Southern Cameroon's Youth Congress. and WCA, West Cameroon Association, which I believe is headed by Wiba. I bring this here to explain that all the participants here, including the conveners, are those who were also present during the Canadian retreats that happened in 2020 and 2021. I'm sorry, 2021 and 2022. So these are all partners in crime. But you ask the question, why are they not fighting on the home front? These people do not have boots on the ground. They are not defending the territory. Yet they are positioning themselves because they believe that once the international community gives us the leverage we need, they will say that, well, we were part of the game. Please, Southern Cameroonians, Ambazonians, be careful whom you associate with. AAC1 that is coming is a destroyer, it's not a builder. It will not take us to Buea faster. It will not make us to be recognized as the 55th nation in Africa any faster. And we just spoke about referendum. We had Barrister John Fuso talk to us why a referendum will not be the solution. My gut feeling tells me that those who register to attend this conference will be asked if they want a referendum or not. That is what my gut feeling tells me. I may be wrong, but that's what I think at this time. Because if they've already had all these meetings, the people that are convening all these meetings apparently already went to Canada. And they said they were already on the table with La République du Cameroun, although La République du Cameroun refused. But the Canadian Prime Minister says that there's a process going on. So is it possible that this is a strategy to see how Southern Cameroonians feel about this idea of a referendum? That is a question we need to keep in the back of our minds and see what really comes out of this conference, because every conference has some resolutions. Let's wait and see. Next week, we'll be having an exciting topic on the horizon. We'll have two exciting guests. I'm not going to say who they are now, but they are bona fide Southern Cameroonians, and they've been on the horizon before. So plan to attend the horizon, plan to watch the horizon next Friday. In the meantime, continue to draft. As Barrister said, whenever you spend, for every dollar, whenever you spend 70 cents, keep 30 cents for Ambazonia. If you can keep more, if you want to do 50-50, that is even better. But at least keep something for Ambazonia. The truth is on our side. God is on our side. Any people that want to claim their land, their rightfully deserving land, will achieve their goal in the long run. Any people that are fighting a just cause will succeed in the long run. So fellow Southern Cameroonians, fellow Ambazonians watching me from the home front, from ground one, from all over the diaspora, if you believe in the right of Southern Cameroons to exist as a nation, just like La Republique is a nation, then you have to choose only one side. You have to be on the side of Southern Cameroons, Ambazonia. Ask yourself the question, why in 1961 or in the early 60s, when nations were granting permission to gain their independence, why are we the only ones suffering today? Why were we not just giving outright independence? It's time to fight to correct that injustice. It's time to fight to correct that injustice. I want to thank everyone watching. I want to also remind you about ABC Amber Television, about our cloth. I forgot to bring it up. Let me get it. Remember, we have this. If you've not seen this before, we have our independence fabric that everyone should own. So please reach out to ABC Amber Television. Reach out to Director Emma Endele. Reach out to Director Paddy King. You can reach out to me also. I have some if you want your own wrapper. Because come October 1st of this year, we should all own one and wear it to celebrate our Independence Day. So I want to thank you all for being on the horizon today. And I want to end by saying that the women from the Department of Women's Services will be having a meeting this coming Sunday. And please, if you had not seen the invitation, maybe you'll hear me now, and please remember to join the meeting. It's a very important meeting. I want to thank you all for watching, and I want to say, long live the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, short live the struggle, and beware of those who are there to destroy our nation. Beware of them. Let's stay the course together till we get to Buea. Thank you so much. God bless.
In tonight's editorial from Ambazonia's Library, we have an article titled Dr. Sako Remains Our Only Hope for a Free Ambazonia by Robert Doe. Precious Ambazonians, he starts, as I wish everyone a happy and productive new year, we must perennially pray and hope that this year will engender a positive milestone in our struggle for genuine freedom and independence from the Beatese. Every Ambazonian with integrity must understand that as a people, we cannot equivocate or prevaricate ourselves to Buea. This is especially so when the truth in this revolution is apparent, yet a few of us want to circumvent it surreptitiously. He goes on to say, I would like to editorialize this short text by posing a question that I have repeatedly asked Ambazonians. What are the two things or items that the Beatese have vowed never to discuss within any group of Ambazonians? First answer, they will never discuss our separation from them. Secondly, that they will never entertain any talks about structure that is West and East Cameroon. With this in mind, the question is, what then? Did some Ambazonians go to discuss and negotiate in Canada with the Beatese? While this is disturbing, what is even more disturbing is that those who went to Canada have supporters among us, sporadically, and their supporters are mounting excuses for them. For instance, some loyal supporters have characterized the talks as preliminary talks. My question is, preliminary talks that will ultimately engender in what? Our independence? This is very sickening. The Beatese have toed the line and drawn a line, not on the sand but on rocks, that they will never negotiate our separation. Why is that hard to understand? So what will these preliminary talks synthesize to? He goes on to say, precious Ambazonians, when Western industrialized countries, including some international organizations, insist that the Beatese must engage in serious negotiations with Ambazonians, the question is, what does this really imply? He vehemently believes that serious negotiation is code for the interim government with Dr. Sacco as president. Before anyone disagrees with him, he says, answer the following questions. 1. Have the Betis held talks with Ayaba Cho? Yes. Have the Betis held talks with Chris Ano? Yes. Have the Betis held talks with Dr. Akwanga? Yes. Have the Betis held talks with Bo Herbert? Yes. Have the Betis held talks with John Mbakuro? Yes, etc. and etc. La Republique has negotiated with the above Ambazonians and even more, either individually or collectively. Question is, what has been the outcome of those negotiations? Zero, of course, he says. The diplomatic world is keenly aware that the Betis withdrew from the Swiss talks. They are also aware of the semblance of talks in Canada, yet still insist that La Republique must engage in serious talks with Ambazonia. That, to him, points to the interim government led by Dr. Samuel Ikome Sacco. At this juncture, he says we must accept the following truths about those misguided Ambazonians who sojourned to Canada. First, that they are traitors who do not want our freedom for the Betis, and secondly, that they care more about their bank accounts rather than our collective freedom. Thirdly, that for many years, the political intercourse with the Betis have confused our fighters and led to the deaths of innocent kids fighting for our country's independence, he says. And the fourth, he says that their actions have prolonged our journey to Buea with devastating effects. The fifth point, he says, lastly, that by dining with the Betis, they have unquestionably declared themselves enemies of Ambazonia. Given the above truths, he says, in his opinion, prayers and appeal that all Ambazonians should queue behind Dr. Samuel Ikome Sacco as he forages our path to victory. This has nothing to do with liking him, but the love for a free nation called Ambazonia. Robert Doe summarizes by saying again, Happy New Year, and God bless you and our impending nation Ambazonia. With the end of this very personal article from Robert Doe to Ambazonians, we've come to the end of our editorial for tonight. If you want more of such articles, kindly visit our website at www.abcambertv.com for more. Subscribe, become a club member and a part of this winning strategy. Find out payment details on your screen. I'm Star Smart reporting for Undaunted ABC Amber TV.
You are watching The Horizon, the voice of the Amber Woman, exclusively on ABC Amber TV.